Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. New desk. As you can see, I just got a new desk. I spent like 4 hours last night. I was up until 1 a.m. building this shit. So, hopefully y'all like it. And as you can tell from the title of this video, I genuinely believe Newcastle United are title contenders. I think every single person on the planet underestimated them to some degree. Me, I predicted them to finish in the top 4. I said that they would be challenging for the title in my prediction videos, and especially at the end of last season, because I think momentum plays a huge part in football. It's a very underrated motive in football. Watching them from last season, and especially that amazing 5-1 victory at Aston Villa, the reason why they're first place right now is because they beat Aston Villa, a team that should be a lock, top 6, top 7 contender at least, by 5 goals to 1. Unai Emery by 5 goals to 1. They are one of the most entertaining teams to watch in the Premier League. Eddie Howe's 4-3-3 system is absolutely amazing. Let me explain. Usually they play a 4-3-3, but Dan Burn likes to tuck inside, and that back 4 becomes a back 3. I wonder where he learned that. That allows obviously their other fullback Kieran Trippier to bombard forward and join the attack. And usually when they have the ball, if you watch from last season and a lot of their quick transitions, their wingers like to tuck inside. And they have the 2 number 8s right behind them, and then they have that number 6, Bruno Guimaraes, one of the best football players in the Premier League last season, to have a pick of the litter. He's got so many options to choose from. All he has to do is just pick the right options. Their transitions are quick, seamless, and efficient. And honestly, it makes me want to watch them even more because their transitions are so incredibly smooth. It's so fast. It's blistering pace up front with players like Almiron and Alexander Isak. They are such an entertaining team. Alexander Isak is in the race for the Golden Boot. I predicted it was going to be between Salah, Haaland, and Nicholas Jackson. I think I'm going to add in Alexander Isak for this season because he is absolutely killing it. He only played like, 15 games last season, and towards the end of the season, he was scoring like almost every single game. No one's going to forget that amazing skill, that amazing dribble he had against Everton. He's just deadly, man. He's just so incredibly deadly, and to have that skill, to have that composure with the ball at that height, is just unfair. So what is Manchester City going to do about this? Judging by what we saw in the UEFA Super Cup yesterday, we are going to struggle to create chances. Erling Haaland once again was pretty much non-existent. We didn't have Kevin De Bruyne. He is likely going to have surgery on his hamstring, and Kevin De Bruyne will miss the rest of 2023. Though I loved his resurgence, especially in that second half yesterday, Cole Palmer should not start this game. Julian Alvarez should start this game. Bernardo Silva should start this game. Ruben Diaz is available and should start this game. The question here is Gvardiol. There's a reason why we paid 90 million euros for him. I mean, he's predominantly a center half. Left-footed center half. He was playing left back. Pep Guardiola loves versatile players, and he is just that. He was creating chances after chances. He is so composed on the ball. For a 21-year-old to be that composed on the ball in his first start for Manchester City, winning a European trophy after 11 days, just surreal. And honestly, I saw him linking up passes with Grealish. I saw him combining with Kovacic. I see him trying to find Rodri. I see him trying to find players. I see him trying to cross. I see him trying to shoot. The tenacity that this guy has in defense and the composure and smoothness that this guy has in offense, you couple that and then you just make one hell of a defender. And one of the big questions that I see here is Sandro Tonali. I recently said that Sandro Tonali was going to be one of the best transfers from this summer. He's probably one of the most underrated transfers in Europe at the moment. Last season's Serie A, I mean, it was between him, Zamba Anguissa, and Brozovic for the best defensive midfielder in the Serie A, and you can make a huge case that Sandro Tonali was the best of the lot. He's young. I think he's like 23, 24 years old, and he is just an absolute machine. He's going to hit the ground running. His debut for Newcastle, he scores a goal against Aston Villa at St. James's Park. Similar to Ilkay Gundogan, this guy is a midfielder, central midfielder with a huge potential goal threat in him. He is very threatening in goal. He's very fast for his height, and he's super strong. He is very strong. For any of you that have watched at least a bit of AC Milan last season, games where he didn't play for Milan looked like a headless chicken in the Serie A. The games where he did play, he brought composure, he brought strength, he brought unity to their midfield. This guy is going to hit the ground running for Newcastle. In terms of our lineup, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. But come to think of it, judging by our predicted lineup, if Walker does start, I mean, Ruben Diaz obviously has to start, so that means one of Ake or Gvardiol might actually be on the bench. So Ianji didn't really impress me in that Super Cup match, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he's going to come back and play. against Newcastle. Ruben Diaz is a must. Ederson, obviously. Rodri, obviously. Jack Grealish, yes. Kovacic, yes, obviously. Rodri, Haaland. Julian Alvarez has to start, as I'm not sure if Bernardo Silva is going to be starting. It says he has it says he picked up an illness and he's a doubt for this Saturday, so let's just pretend that he's out. So we're probably going to have Phil Foden on that right-hand side and Julian Alvarez. Remember, Phil Foden at home had that spectacular dribble where he dribbled past like 3 or 4 Newcastle defenders, including Dan Burn, and he scored against Newcastle at the Etihad. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Phil Foden on the right-hand side again to start this game. As for Newcastle's 11, I think they're going to go with exactly the same exact 11 that they played with against Aston Villa. Isak, Almiron, Anthony Gordon are going to be there. We're going to see Bruno Guimaraes, Joe Wellington, and Sandro Tonali. That is one heck of a midfield. Remember, last season, Manchester City and Newcastle United had the same amount of L's. They both lost 5 games in the season. They both had the best defenses in the league. They both conceded 33 goals each. It says here that Manchester City have lost just one of their last 31 Premier League games against Newcastle. 25 wins, 5 draws, going down 2-1 at St. James's Park in January of 2019. I'm not sure this is 100% true, but I saw this in multiple different articles, but Newcastle United have never won against Manchester City at the Etihad in the Premier League. They did beat them at Main Road, but not at the Etihad in the Premier League. You all know me. I'm a man of honor. I respect my opponents. I'm not going for any thrashing win for Manchester City. That's not going to happen. We are struggling to create chances. Our best football player is injured for the next 3 to 4 months. Newcastle United are title contenders, and they're playing some of the best football they've ever played in their history. And I'm going to say that momentum is going to play a huge part in this tie, because I'm going to say this is going to be a 2-2 draw. I don't think Erling Haaland is going to score. I think La Araña is going to score a goal, and I think it's going to be, you know what, I'm going to say Kovacic. Kovacic and Julian Alvarez are going to score, and those 2 goals from Newcastle are going to come from, I think one of them is going to come from Alexander Isak, and the other one is going to come from Harvey Barnes off the bench. So I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw. Regardless, this is going to be one heck of a game. I can't wait.